States law enforcement agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, and other international partners have been called in to probe the multi-million-dollar fraud scheme at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. The finance minister made the revelation today, even as he announced a raft of regulatory changes, which include giving oversight responsibilities to the Bank of Jamaica. Now, we have all that in a moment, but first, Andrea Chisholm is here to tell us what the minister had to say about the SSL fraud. Andrea?
Well, Herman, there is so much to unpack from this highly anticipated press conference. First of all, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark indicated that the fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited SSL is estimated so far to be over $2 billion. He said it is the largest securities fraud by a dealer since the inception of the Financial Services Commission, FSC, some 22 years ago. It targeted not only sprint legend Usain Bolt, but a number of elderly persons.
This is a body blow to Jamaica and has the unfortunate impact of tarnishing Jamaica's global reputation.
A body blow not only because the funds were stolen, but also because of the embarrassment and implications for the country. Dr. Nigel Clark admits that Jamaica has a poor track record in prosecuting financial crimes, and on this occasion, there's no room for error.
With external auditors, regulators, managers, bankers, and later internal auditors, how did this fraud go undetected for 13 years? I put it to you that that is the central question, and it is a question that our government will ensure is answered. Based on the magnitude of this fraud and the lines of inquiry being pursued, the Financial Investigations Division and the Fraud Squad have already, last week, sought assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, and other international partners. Today, I will write to our international partners who have traditionally provided support to the Financial Investigations Division and other law enforcement agencies to specifically request the assistance of international forensic auditors to help unravel this 13-year fraud so we can bring to justice all perpetrators and all co-conspirators.
While those investigations continue, another burning issue. I asked the minister if the stolen money at SSL was insured.
SSL claimed to have fraud insurance to the tune of $1 million.
That information was communicated to the FSC by letter. The finance minister made it clear the information is yet to be independently verified. What's clear though is that there are 38 licensed security dealers in Jamaica with a combined total of over $1.4 trillion in assets under management as at September 30, 2022. SSL had a little over 2% of the amount. That's over $28 billion.
SSL was a relatively small securities dealer, and its problems do not pose a systemic risk to the financial system. There is therefore no need to panic. The financial sector is strong and well capitalized.
Now, Andrea, there have also been questions about the number of public sector entities with investments in SSL. What did the minister say about that?
The minister indicated, Herman, that Kenneth Tomlinson, who has been appointed temporary manager of SSL, told him that public bodies had just under $1 billion in investments. Now, 2 public bodies had the bulk of investments in SSL.
The National Health Fund has a balance of approximately $740 million, $740,563,020. The National Housing Trust has a balance of $238,855,480. The National Insurance.
Now, the National Insurance Fund had over $8.4 million, over $8.9 million for the Jamaica Agricultural Society, and the Jamaica Banana Catastrophe Fund, over $98,000. Now, another concern sparking debate was if the minister knew about the operations of SSL prior to the fraud. The FSC labeled the SSL as a problem institution in one of its reports, and it also said that the entity had a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement of client funds.
Let me state categorically that in approximately 5 years of service as Minister of Finance and the Public Service, neither the FSC Board of Commissioners nor the FSC Executive Director nor any person from the FSC has ever raised Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, with me in any way.
Minister Clark said, Herman, that you also spoke with former Finance Minister Audley Shaw, and Mr. Shaw told him that the FSC also did not raise issues about SSL with him during his tenure.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for that comprehensive report. Now, a new board of commissioners will steer the way forward for the Financial Services Commission, the FSC. Some of the entities' oversight power will also be shifted to the Bank of Jamaica. Javon Keys has that angle.
Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Richard Biles, will chair the new Board of Governors of the Financial Services Commission, FSC. Biles is joined by other members of the BOJ senior management, Wayne Robinson, Jide Lewis, and George Roper. 4 of the existing commissioners remain on the board, and one person the minister indicated he was not yet ready to name. The new board will be charged with the new strategic direction of the FSC.
Regulatory model which we will pursue, which is known as a Twin Peaks regulatory model, will have the prudential mandate of the FSC with respect to the non-deposit taking financial institutions to have that mandate fully taken over by the BOJ. And the new FSC would become a highly visible market conduct and consumer protection supervision, not for a part of the financial sector, but for the entire financial sector.
The finance minister further promised new legislation to guide operations in the financial sector. These changes are also requirements under the new staff level agreement with the International Monetary Fund, IMF.
These include a special resolution regime law to strengthen the resolution of non-viable financial institutions while protecting financial stability and the public funds in line with fund staff recommendations. And we've committed to a date of March 2024 to submit this law to Parliament.
He says by September this year, a methodology to identify systemically important bank and non-bank financial institutions should also be brought before Parliament.
It also includes the establishment of supervision by the Financial Services Commission of financial conglomerates without deposit-taking institutions. And we're committed to September 2023 to have this done.
Additionally, the finance minister is promising more stringent penalties.
The government of Jamaica will review the penalty regimes in the Securities Act, the Banking Act, the Insurance Act, and the Pensions Act. We will stiffen the penalties for white-collar crime in the financial sector. The discrepancy between the sanctions for white-collar crime and other forms of crime must be erased.
There will also be more transparency surrounding securities dealers and their finances.
The government of Jamaica will also require security dealers to publish their financial statements and material events at standards equivalent to public companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The government of Jamaica will tighten regulations around connected party transactions for security dealers. The government will introduce a fixed penalty regime where companies can be fined for AML, CFT, and other breaches. And if they fine and if they don't pay, they go to court.
Dr. Clark also promised tighter penalties for insider trading. Javon Keys, TVJ News.